Hello, this is the Green Corn Rebellion Show. I'm Gregory Harden II, and today I'm here with State Representative Trish Ranson, who represents the 34th District in the Oklahoma State House. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, it's nice seeing you too. Um, so first question I have here is what has been going on at the Capitol since session began, or at least within the last few weeks or so?
Well, we just completed the committee work for bills from the opposite chamber. So the last couple of weeks we've been meeting, and there was about 400 or so bills that came over from the Senate. We sent about the same over from the House, and we met in our committees. Did a lot of voting, all of that kind of thing. We didn't do a lot of floor work. That tends to wait until this coming week. But yesterday was the deadline. All bills had to go through committee of the opposite chamber by yesterday. The only outlier would be those that go through the main appropriations committee. So they will probably meet next week, but that'll probably just be some last minute cleanup stuff. So yeah, that's where we are right now. Like I said, the next 2 weeks we're going to be doing a lot of voting on the floor. So all of those bills that pass committee will now need to pass the floor, and I'm not really sure how many bills that is, but I will tell you that we've got the agenda for Monday's floor session, and there's 8 pages of bills. So my guess is that we've got quite a few bills to get through.
All right. Episodes of the Green Corn Rebellion Show were brought to you by Addie Sugar Shack, located at 1228 North Interstate Drive in Norman, Oklahoma. Norman's new shaved ice concept. They feature 45 flavor options plus unique snacks. They love the vibe. It's worth the drive. Um, what bills did you propose this session, and are any of them still alive and could be passed?
Yes. So I sent 4 bills over from the House. They passed the floor and went over to the Senate. Of those 4, 3 are still alive and kicking out of committee, which is great. We have, I'll give them to you in order of numerical order. HB 1010 is the Traumatic Brain Injury Advisory Council bill, and that sets up an advisory council for traumatic brain injury. It is the piece that we need in order to get federal funding. So, in order for the federal government to recognize that our state is serious about treating traumatic brain injury, we have to have an agency and an advisory council that is geared primarily for TBI. So, Department of Health is all up and ready to go for that, and so now we just need to bring in the advisory council. It went through actually 2 committees in the Senate because it does have a fiscal impact. So it went through its regular Health and Human Services Committee, and then it went through Appropriations. So it did get amended over on the Senate side, which the Department of Health brought in some really good amendments to kind of clarify as to who is responsible for what, the advisory council or the Department of Health. And so those amendments were made. And so what that will mean is once that passes the House, or excuse me, the Senate, it has to come back to the House, and it goes to conference committee, and all of the edits are, either accepted or denied. And then it will have to be voted on one more time, seeing as it was amended in the opposite chamber. So there's a little bit more hurdles to cross with that, but still, I am feeling good about the traumatic brain injury bill. House Bill 1759 updates the Computer Crimes Act. So we have statutes and laws on computer crimes, but it is way outdated in essence of how fast technology advances. Statutes will never be at the same level as the advances of technology, but we do need to get into the 21st century. And one of the things that it does is it updates the definitions and the penalties, and it also lists some real life threats that are happening right now, such as malicious viruses and ransomware. That's something that agencies, companies, nonprofits have been suffering from lately. And so this at least gets that on the books so that that way we can have something that we can hold someone accountable for. That is the kind of the first step to update cybercrime statutes and to really come up with some legislation that will be have some teeth in it going forward. So that's that bill. And my third bill is House Bill 2868, and it updates our liquor laws. So if you remember during the pandemic, there was curbside service at our liquor stores. The present law is that they cannot exit the store with the alcohol. You as a customer have to come in and take it out. And so it was loosened because of the pandemic. What we found is that it's actually was a wonderful service and people really enjoyed that and wanted more of that. So the bill 2868 allows for independent liquor store owners to put in a drive-through window at their liquor store. And this is not doesn't change who can and cannot buy alcohol, and it doesn't change the manner in which it is purchased. It's still sealed containers, original containers, but it does allow for some online ordering and paying, which will update how liquor stores do business. And it's really kind of trying to make sure that we have some parity with the big box stores like Walmart and so forth, because you can buy groceries online and with that beer or wine, and they will bring it to your car. So we need to be able to allow our mom and pop liquor stores to be able to compete with that. So those are the three bills that have passed committee in the Senate and hopefully will be heard on the Senate floor soon.
All right. Episodes of the Green Corn Rebellion Show are sponsored by Oklahoma Progress Now. Oklahoma Progress Now is a 501c4 organization focused on building progressive power in Oklahoma. Their primary efforts are on developing progressive content for a 21st century audience, coalition, and capacity building across progressive organizations and causes, and working to see elected leaders who are more responsive to their constituents and the needs of the many. Areas of focus include progressive messaging and communications, coalition building and resource sharing, and focused progressive policy goals. You can check out their Twitch live streams, and they go live on Facebook at noon, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Please support this organization. It's a really great organization. It's just getting started here in Oklahoma. Thank you. Now enjoy the rest of the video. Were there any other bills that you proposed this session that didn't end up getting heard or anything that you...
Yes. So my House Bill 1027 was the violence de-escalation training for teachers. And that made it out of the House and over to the Senate. It did not get a hearing in the Education Committee there, which is a shame because I think violence de-escalation is another tool that teachers can use to manage behavior and to keep behavior from turning violent. What I'm seeing, though, in the House and the Senate is that we have a lot of representatives who are more discipline and punishment focused. I think you'll have seen that in a lot of bills that have come out as far as danger rounds and all of these, the police bills and that sort of thing. And I think that discipline is fine and punishment is fine. Those are tools too. But if we're able to de-escalate before things get out of hand, I think that's even better. That improves our learning environment, that improves our relationships between teachers and students and staff. And so I'm not done with that one yet. That I think, I try not to fall in love with any bill because, there's so many opportunities for bills to fall by the wayside and not become law. But that one is a special one because that one was my idea, and it was something that I have had experience with in the classroom. And I worked with my guidance counselor that I used to work with at Westwood Elementary, and she and I put that legislation together. So there's a little bit kind of like, oh, but we'll bring it back another time. So
Yeah, that sounds like something that's definitely needed. Uh, as a substitute teacher, I see things from time to time that, you know, I wish I knew how to properly intervene or can intervene, but don't know if I did it
mhm.
properly. So like that's definitely a good idea for a bill.
Right.
Um,
And there's so many teachers that now who are emergency certified that they did not have classroom management through their higher ed training. And um, even teachers like, I mean, I job and it's valuable information. And it's a really, it does look at things from a different angle. And I think, we kind of need both ends and work towards the middle. And so, like I said, I'm not going to give up on that one just yet.
um, is there anything that you think we might be seeing for the end of session, or like anything that you would like to see happen for the end of session?
Well, I think, there's some things to be watchful for. So, because this last week was the deadline week, it was what we call shucking season. And so there were several bills that their language got completely shucked out of it and new language was planted in it. And so things like House Bill 2693 dealt with returning the stipend for national board certified teachers. This has been something that we have been trying to get done for many years, and there have been advocates inside and outside the Capitol about this. It made it over to the Senate, and that bill got shucked, and a micro credentialing for teachers bill got put in. And so there is, that one is not necessarily nefarious in its sense, but at the same time, if micro credentialing for teachers was so important, why didn't it go through the regular process? There was also the Senate Bill 627, which was to work on the Red River boundaries, and the anti-gender sexual diversity training. That language got put in there, and if you remember House Bill 1888, that was that bill, and it got laid over in the House, and we thought we had killed it. But the House author of that bill shucked that Senate Bill 627 and put his House Bill 1888 right in it. And so we're seeing things like that last minute hate type of issues being trying to be slipped in at the last minute. And so those are things to be watchful for, and to see if they actually get a hearing in their chamber. So will Senate Bill 627 get a hearing? I don't know. Will House Bill 2693 get a hearing? I don't know. But it's things to be watchful for, and to talk with your representative and your senator and let them know that those types of bills are not something that we want to have done.
It's interesting. That's something I hadn't heard about before. It's kind of,
Yes. Now,
yeah.
it's a good tool if, I mean, if it is addressing issues that need to happen quickly, because the legislature is a slow moving entity. But if we need something to go through quickly, then this is a really great mechanism to do that. However, if it's for legislation that's not been really tested, and it's basing on national ideas rather than state concerns, then I have a problem with that. And so we need to be focused on Oklahoma issues and doing legislation for the good of Oklahomans.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have for today. Thank you for coming on. It means a lot. Where can we find you on social media?
Social media, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook and Twitter, and it's at Ranson House 34.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.